What is going on, guys? And today I'm very excited to bring you a San Antonio Spurs offensive breakdown when they destroyed the Pacers a week ago, a very good defensive team. And you can see they run a lot of set plays but have a great flow and also have great spacing, so here it is. Now before I go into their sideline pick and rolls, I first have to explain to you what ice defense is. It's when the defense forces the ball handler sideline, the person guarding Parker, in this case Hill, does not allow him to go to the middle and use the screen, and Hibbert, who's guarding the screener, contains. This is a great way to keep the ball out of the middle, and it's generally the best way to defend the pick and roll. But Parker's great at attacking the big, and here he gets a layup. Dribble pitches are a great way to counter ice, as it is very hard to stop the ball handler from getting to the middle of the floor. Here they run a dribble pitch with Duncan, and Parker gets right into the middle of the floor. Notice how Hibbert goes out on him, and that leaves the roller Duncan open, and he gets fouled. Here again, Parker is able to use the screen and get into the middle of the floor, and this time Hibbert stays home on Duncan, which leaves Parker wide open. And on this sideline pick and roll, Leonard chose his unselfishness as he passes it to Duncan for the dunk. Notice how he could have had the mid-range jumper, but unselfishly gave it up. Now if nothing is open off the first screen, the Spurs simply re-screen, and notice Tim Duncan coming to the top, which makes David West's assignment to cover the roll man splitter very tough, and here to get the splitter for a foul. Now this possession by the Pacers is very well defended. George Hill is really fighting and preventing Parker from getting anything. Hibbert does his job and prevents low. But right here, all that movement causes Paul George to help one pass away, which gives Leonard a wide open three. Now here, no set play is called. They simply screen away a double staggered for Leonard. He passes up on the shot, but that flows right into a Danny Green pick and roll, and he gets right into the middle of the floor and hits the easy shot. This offense is so natural, as here they try to get Leonard off a double staggered, but that doesn't work. But he simply hits splitter at the high post, and they set one for Tony Parker. That flows right into a pick and roll, and Parker gets a jumper. And here off a miss, the Spurs push in transition, and they'll attack the defense before it's set, and Parker receives a screen and roll from Duncan, and he gets right into the middle of the lane for a layup. And here's another example of the offense just flows. They'll get into a dribble pitch with Duncan and Parker, which is again a great way to beat ice defense, and Parker gets into the middle of the floor but just can't hit the floater. Now let's talk about the Spurs' famous loop play, which is where Tony Parker receives 3 screens around the loop and he tries to get a good shot. Here poor screens are set, so that happens, but they still get into a pick and roll and they hit Duncan, who gets a good shot in the lane. Here Bellinelli runs it, and notice how his defender trails him the whole time, and Mahimi is forced to step out, and that leaves splitter open. He draws a foul. Here Parker runs it and cuts it back on the first screen again, and when Hill goes on the high side of this screen, Parker makes the read to cut it baseline, and he can take a jumper or attack West, the big man. Here he attacks West, the big man, and gets a layup. Beautiful. Now this time, George Hill blocks the entrance to the loop by preventing him from going around the screens, and that read is for Parker to cut back to the middle. Splitter doesn't set a good screen, but Parker is still able to hit the shot. And the last time they ran the loop was a great example of how the offense flows, as Parker will run around the loop, not get anything off the initial option, but DL will set a pick and roll, and he'll pop, and he'll nail the jump shot. Now of course the Spurs run their fair share of high pick and rolls, and because the Pacers big men sag, that often give the ball handlers open lanes to attack the big man or pull up for jump shots, as Patty Mills does here. One reason Boris Diaw is very valuable is because he is shooting 39% from the 3-point line this season, so in the pick and roll situation, it's very tough for defenses to defend. If they want a Diaw 3, they can get a Diaw 3, and here they get 2. Notice how wide open he is. He doesn't hit either of these, but unless the defenses switch this pick and roll, more often than not, he's going to be open for a shot. And I really like this motion again, where on the pick and roll, splitter rolls and DL comes to the top, and he probably would have shot this shot, but Turner fell, so he just moves the ball, and Bellinelli misses. Now here the Spurs run the UCLA 1-4 offense, and Parker will UCLA cut off Diaw. After that, he'll set a cross screen for Ginobili, then receive 2 screens of his own to the top. When nothing is open off the initial action, he'll go pick and roll with Duncan, and he misses the Duncan pocket pass right here, and he takes a tough shot. Here they run it again as Mills, UCLA cuts the basket, and this time they'll just screen for the wing, this time Bellinelli, but he takes a long contested 2. Now look at this, horns. The Spurs run right into a double ball screen for Parker, and I don't love Parker taking a jump shot 1 foot inside the arc, but I can't argue with the results. The Spurs also run a few sets into dribble handoffs, and here Duncan screens the ball handler and then a dribble handoff occurs. Good defense by the Pacers though, and Duncan misses. Similar sequence here as they execute a dribble handoff off a screen, and good defense, but Diaw again flashes to the high post, and great movement, and he finds Splitter for a foul. And they run this a lot, a pin down for Duncan looking for a mid-range jump shot. If that's not open, that triggers a dribble handoff of Parker, and here he gets right into the lane. Now the Spurs also run a double staggered pick and roll with Splitter rolling to the basket and Diaw popping out, and here to get Diaw wide open for a jump shot. Same play again, with this time Diaw receiving the pass and nicely attacking the basket for a layup. I mean, this is basketball 101, people, and here Diaw passes up on the jump shot, hits Splitter in the post, who goes to work and scores. And probably over all the set plays, the spacing and movement is probably the best part of the offense, as in the post there are so many cutters and they find Leonard for a dunk. Now, gorgeous set right here. Leonard sets a cross screen for Diaw and then receives a pin down from Duncan, and Diaw hits him for the jump shot. And notice how Duncan is being fronted in the post, so Diaw simply flashes to the high post and they go high-low to punish the defense for being on the high side. And every team has their fair share of gadget or quick hitters, and here they clear out one side and Duncan sets a back screen for Leonard looking for an alley-oop, but they don't get it to convert. And this baseline out of bounds play some screen the screener action for Ginobili. The best way to defend this is probably switch the screens, and they don't, and Ginobili gets a layup. And I just had to say wow as the Spurs get it to Duncan at the high post, and Ginobili executes a perfect backdoor cut to get another layup. And we've seen a lot of Parker in the half court, but he still is at his best when he's scoring in transition. Well, there you have it, guys. You can just see how great the Spurs offense is, and there's rarely a dead possession. And in the Pacers game, they didn't even run some of their most famous sets, including the hammer action, the Spurs scissor handoff, and the Spurs shuffle into slice stagger motion. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more, and see you next time.